Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. We are moving slowly towards that time of year when Parliament breaks for Christmas. But there won't be much joy, I think, in the Starmer household, apart from the fact that everyone in that household hates him. His wife won't kiss him, his kids think, like the rest of us, that he's a bit of a wanker. He's going to sit there bar humbugging his away. He probably regrets and hates Christmas because it reminds him of people having fun and he hates the idea. On the other hand, he may not have Christmas at all because, of course, his wife is Jewish, his two kids are Jewish, and he's a miserable feck. But whether or not there is a Christmas tree in the corner of the room, blinking sadly in the light, in much the same way as Starmer does when he enters the real world, he'll be sitting of an evening, a little bit of cheese, pretending he's having a jolly good time, but inside the worms will be nagging in his brain. For he knows it's not if, but when. And the big question for him is who? There are many contenders, of course, but those 3 weeks, well, that's a long time to be sitting there nursing those thoughts. The long, dark evenings, alone, miserable. Maybe he'll take to alcohol. Who knows? But he does know one thing. He knows Ed Miliband is milling about. He knows that Wes Streeting is strutting his stuff. And he knows that Angela Rayner is ready to rain on his parade. She is most definitely on manoeuvres. It means for him the nightmare before Christmas. And it's not one that he is going to get woken up from in the wee small hours. He's going to have to live it for entire 3 weeks and hope to God he's still Prime Minister when they reassemble back in early January. It really is playing out like some kind of film or TV drama, isn't it? It is sort of the thick of it, Game of Thrones and House of Cards all admixed and congealed into one. And there's no way he can survive. He's not the hero, of course. Well, none of them really are the hero. They're all the anti-heroes, but you've got to pick the one you want to follow. I still think it's going to be Rayner. I think if we're going to pick one, Rayner will be the best, simply because it'll be so amusing. She's so thick. It'll be just like grab your popcorn and watch. But no sooner, of course, is Ed Miliband, who already had one disastrous stint as leader. And my God, was that bad? With his Ed Stone and his inability to eat a bacon sandwich. He's the left's preferred choice. But the left also would vote, of course, for Rayner. The unions kind of like Rayner, mostly-ish. Where Streeting really has no chance. There are other runners and riders. Darren Jones said he'd like to have a go. And Mahmoud wants to be the first Muslim leader of the party and the first Muslim Prime Minister. Not a chance. Too divisive. I'm surprised Lammy hasn't thrown his huge hat into the ring. But apparently he is a non-starter as well. After all, everyone in the party has found out what we've known for so long. He's retarded. Seriously, very low IQ. 60s. But just when you think life couldn't get any worse, as you look around post budget with the reality sinking in, we have a government that is now stuck in a doom loop of lies, duplicity, deceitfulness, sleaze, controversy, stupidity. And that's just the start of it. Rayner was forced, of course, to resign over some shady dealings with regards to tax. She happily accepted the £17,000 payoff, even though she herself had previously moaned about ministers getting paid that for being sacked or being duplicitous like her, especially if they were Tory ministers, but she was quite happy to accept it herself. Bit hypocritical there, don't you think? Starmer, of course, is happy to accept the £16,000 in freebies and gifts and clothes and glasses from Dark Alley. And, of course, Tulip Sadiq, who also promoted Starmer, gave him holidays with her aunt. Nice. You know, the one that's now sentenced to death for human rights abuses. or Starmer's friend, friend of the family, close friend of the family is Starmer. This is who we are being led by. Of course, there's others. Possibly Andy Burnham. He don't count really, does he? You have, of course, Rachel Reeves. Never a chance of her becoming leader, of course. But she, of course, is repeatedly trying to deny that Britain is failing, even though it is failing. She's trying to blame Starmer now. She's throwing him under the bus, throwing him to the wolves. It wasn't me, Gov. It was him. And then Starmer blinking in the light, very much like, oh, good Lord, James Callaghan, isn't it? Crisis? What crisis? Well, James Callaghan was out of the country when he came back to that. And Starmer, of course, is very, very rarely in the country. He hates being here because it's all so bad. Now, you've got Rayner. We've got to say about her. Left 16. More children than qualifications. She's made no secret of the ideology that makes her tick. She pretends she used to have a job. She worked for about 5 minutes and then went in. But she's selling herself up as, I'm working class. To be working class, love, you've had to have worked. You're not working class. You're a bid. But she said sorry. Yeah, sorry, I stole from the taxpayer. Sorry. Not sorry at all, of course, but she has to say sorry. Looks good. Of course, she realises that her Ashton underlined seat has got no chance of winning it. So she's doing the chicken run down to Brighton. That's why she bought that place in Brighton. So she can go down there and go, right, I'm going to stand down Brighton. Got so much in common with people at Brighton. Aye. People at Brighton don't think that's stupid, Especially her neighbours who had to go and clean off the walls because of everyone spray painting on. Who would want her as a neighbour, for God's sake? But she has been quiet for a while and then popped up like a rabbit out of a hat recently, trying to defend that mad legislation, the job-breaking legislation. So she is starting to put it about a bit. She's starting to make appearances here, there, everywhere. She's starting to put the stick in. She's raising her profile. It's clear that although she's had this conveyancing cock-up that's left her humiliated, it's not a permanent condition. She will have that paid off. She will clear her name. She will come back and she will fight. And she will win, I think. If it actually came down to a dead heat between Miliband and Rayner, I think Rayner would win it. Because I don't think anyone would dare vote against her. She ticks more boxes than Miliband. And Miliband's already had his go and lost. Now, stuttering Keir Starmer, muddling through the evening, if you will, of his very short reign now as Prime Minister, transient politician in the twilight of his career, is sitting there tilting at windmills while the mutiny around him grows. I don't think he's aware of how big the mutiny is. He's got whips that won't whip for him. He's got, how should we say, advisors that are too scared to go out and give advice. They're all yes men. They're all very Uriah Heep. Oh, very much humble, Mr. Starmer. They all are yes men. But Angela's eyes are set firmly on Downing Street, and her revenge will come, and she will eat it, and it will be ice cold, and he will be gone, and it will come to pass. His days are numbered now. It's just a case of who. Mark my words, it will be Angela Rayner. Thanks very much. Bye.